What's going on, guys? Welcome, listeners. This is your host, Yogi. Joining me up here drinking a swig of whatever he's drinking. It's Chick. That's his new name. That's what we're sticking with. Um, that's an inside joke. Down below, it's Eb. She has on some shirt, and she's also fighting on fires of American Outlaw. So, hats off to you. And last but not least, down below is our special co-host for the night, who also interviewed Mr. Benny Delgado. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, thank you. How about you?
I can't complain. Trying to enjoy it a little bit by how it's going. That's about it. I'm ready for spring break. I'm mentally checked out. I have mentally checked out for the last 3 weeks.
Damn, that's a long
No, it's
gap.
not. No, it's
Lots
not.
to unpack there.
That's God damn.
It's not.
I got like a
I had a
couple
kid come to
days.
me today and be like, "Hey, Mr. Barr, I need to redo my project." I was like, whatever. You can redo it. That's fine.
Yogi's live on air, like, fuck these kids.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. 100%. My phone will be
Because we're about to start, spring break starting. You guys are on your own.
Oh, yeah. No, I told my students 100%, come May 24th, you're on your own. Like,
Damn.
you're on your own.
How long you been saying that though? For the 3 weeks you've been mentally checked out?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I gave them to the 24th. I said, May 24th, any project you got due, because I only get 3 projects. I give them fall, a winter, and a spring. I was like, if you haven't turned in one of those 3 projects, you're going to fail. Hard.
That's math.
Just turn it in. You pass. I teach seniors. Like, it's an easy-ass class. This class don't count for nothing. One of them is like, make your own high school. You can make it fucking Hogwarts for all you want. I don't care. Just turn the project in. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm just
Hi,
so
Benny. Benny, it's so good to have you here. So you work for the team of the man that's not here because he's still being a family man, I guess, out here in the streets.
I was always being a family man.
Yeah, I can't fault him this time
A
though.
roll
Can't fault him. Tell us a little bit about your role with Forward Madison.
Yeah, so my role with the club, it's a minimal role, but still I'm very involved in a lot of with the club in pretty much in a lot of aspects of the field. So mainly my main responsibility is on game day, where I kind of take charge of the coordination for the arrivals of the away teams, the referees, and then ensuring that everything that occurs before the game, halftime, and after the game follows like the league protocol and the league schedule. And then also on top of that, I also coach the youth camps for the club. And I also do a bunch of I'll get a phone call randomly throughout the day and like, hey, do you think you can help us out with this if you can? And then I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm always down. And I'm someone that's kind of always like, I've always told our owner, I always tell our owner, I'll do anything for the club. And I mean that literally. So
you clean the toilets.
No one cleans the toilets at Bruce Stevens.
No, I don't clean the toilets.
Yeah.
I just gotta ask these questions.
Hold on. This man came on here. He said, I have a small part, and then named running half the club. So
This is like a running theme in League One. Like, they got like 9 jobs. Benny got 40. What is with this, man?
Next, he'll be telling us he sells the T-shirts outside the gate before the game starts.
Probably so.
this man said, I have a small part. I coordinate everything about the players and game day that you could ever imagine. And then I also run the front office.
Pretty much everything that happens through me. I pretty much run the club.
It does in the case of I for sure have gotten into it with a few coaches and players for not coming out of the locker rooms on time, because ultimately the ones that have to pay the fine would be Forward Madison.
Oh, I gotta hear about this. Who's been the latest team to come out on the field?
Oh man, I don't know if I want to kind of give any bad.
You're not giving a bad review. You just being
I don't know. There was 2 teams who have given me where when they came back, they gave me a dirty look. And both of those games, I actually was not there. but then it was which is ironic because it was Richmond and Omaha.
Yeah, that's
two
sounds
games.
wins.
Two games. It was like when we played Richmond and Omaha, like just like back to back. Like the games were like just kind of like right, like and Bree Stevens kind of really close to each other, and so I can't remember why, but I didn't go to the first Richmond game nor the first Omaha game. And I remember with Richmond we played them like I think it was like back to back at home, and so then I was not there for the first one, and they came out. Like Richmond apparently came out very late. I don't know if it was that they got their warnings or not, but next thing you know, they come back and I am giving the, giving the times and telling everyone for when warm ups and stuff like that. And then I just started getting shade thrown, just like, are you actually going to give us the times this time? And then, or whatever. And then I was just kind of there. Like I was not here last time. So I have no idea what you're talking about. And then Omaha walks in, and then like I think pretty much like their whole staff they saw me the one standing there because I'm standing there when when teams and referees when teams arrive to the stadium, and I pretty much just got like a really nasty, like I'm talking like oblivious, not even trying to hide it, like dirty, like side eye, just kind of like staring me down, and like what happened last week? And I asked one of my coworkers. They're like, oh, yeah, last week when they were here or 2 weeks ago, they came out really late and they got a fine. So they're probably really pissed. And I was like, oh, well, that was not me.
That sounds like Richmond shade.
God damn.
So I want to back up a little bit. Like, how did you get into soccer? Like, what is your whole background into it?
So I pretty much kind of been watching and playing soccer my whole life. I'm surrounded by, my dad was a big soccer guy when I was a kid growing up, and so was his brother, who's my godfather, as well as my other uncles. Back in the day, they used to always kind of have like little like soccer watch parties, boxing watch parties too. And so when I was like a little kid, I just saw all the grown men in the living room having adult beverages and very passionate about soccer games. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool when I was a kid. And, I have like baby pictures of me walking with like a full kit. That's all I wanted to wear when I was from the ages of like 3 to 7 years old. It didn't matter if it was like a big gathering, family gathering, birthday party. I think I even wore it to someone's baptism. I went full kit, and that's all I was going to wear. If not, I threw a fit. If my parents didn't let me wear my soccer jersey or my full kit.
So I got to ask, what kit were you rocking?
I was always wearing a Pumas kit from Liason. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I have like a couple pictures, like when I was a baby. I might have to find them somewhere, and it's like me just in full kit, kind of just. You can just kind of tell by the movement in my legs that I had just barely learned how to walk, and yeah. Pumas.
So you was having a great time last week when they came back and beat Revs, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a great time. I went with my godfather. Well, because my dad does not drink anymore, but my godfather does, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go have a good time with my godfather and have some drinks and watch the game. And I was telling him the whole day, they're gonna come back. We're the king of comebacks. Like we got this. And then he's like, nah, I don't think so. 3-0 and New England is like pretty decent. And then
he ain't watched them play.
Yeah. And so then I was like, no, it happens. I mean, when people play, it doesn't matter if it's America, Cruz Azul, or Pumas, just the teams that play in Mexico City. I feel like there's always like some sort of like arrogance from American teams where they go down there and think, oh, I'm going to be fine. Like the elevation's not going to do nothing to me. But I remember watching that game and like 15 minutes in, Brandon Bai is like you can just see it like through the TV that he's like gasping for his last air. And I was telling my godfather, and I was like, did you see that? Like they're done. Like it's 15 minutes in and they're like dying to catch their breaths. They're going to come back. And then, the third goal, I jumped out of the couch, started yelling, and but at that point I had quite a few drinks in me too.
So first of all, Revs fucked that up because all you needed was one.
Yeah, all they needed was one.
All they needed was one, and they got 0.
Well, I kind of had that feeling it was gonna happen because Bruce Arena the night in the press conference said we don't need to score goals, Pumas does. And so everybody was like, oh no, they're gonna park the bus. This is where they're going to kind of maybe shoot themselves in the foot because like you said, all they needed was one goal.
That's a very Bruce Arenas trip.
Yeah, that's accurate. That's a
Friendly
very Bruce statement.
reminder. Friendly reminder to our listeners. Traditionally in soccer, you need to score goals to win. That's kind of the point of the game.
You know.
I'm no Brendan Mays over here, but I tried.
I don't know analytics, but I kind of think you need to score. Let's put that out there.
I
The
don't
big
know
alligator eats the big food, right?
I'm like, Right, so Benny, how did you get started with Forward Madison?
It kind of trails kind of a long way back. So when I was about 16 years old and I was like playing in high school, I developed a friendship and a connection with Peter Wilt, and I kind of knew Peter then since then. And then when I'm from Chicago, and I went to school like an hour south of Madison. And so I just reached out to Peter when I was in high school. I reached out to Peter, and he offered me like a 2-week like training trial or whatever with Indy 11. And then and after that, when I was like in college, I reached out to Peter because there was like rumors floating around that there was going to be a proposal for a team in Madison, and that Peter Wilt was going to be a part of it. And so I messaged Peter Wilt, and he thought that I was going to be playing. But my freshman year of playing college soccer, I suffered in my first season like 3 concussions, and so yeah, it was not fun. It was not fun at all.
What the hell are y'all doing in Madison? The fuck?
This was in Beloit, Wisconsin, which is kind of a small.
What the hell are y'all doing in Wisconsin?
Yeah, it was, and they all happened in training too. They all happened in training, which was like really, and they were all like really, really like unfortunate stuff too. But I remember like in both of them, I just like everybody thought that I passed out midair, like going for headers. One of them was like in a header challenge, and me and my teammate accidentally like bumped heads, and he was the one going full force. My head just kind of like hit off his head, and then I went just boom straight to the ground, and then everybody just kind of was like, "Oh no, that's a concussion." And then,
that's how you know it's bad.
Yeah,
not that we're making light of head injury.
Yeah. But yeah, so then Peter thought that I was interested in playing or something, and so he was saying, you know, give me some film, or at least when we start planning tryouts, come to a tryout if you don't have film. And I was like, no, I think my playing days are kind of done. And so, excuse me, he offered me to be an intern and to kind of assist him when we were like the name, you know, the project had just been announced. Like we didn't even have a name yet, which is the scarf that's right here. This is like one of the original scarves, and it's just Madison Pro Soccer from when, you know, it was just kind of like there's going to be a pro soccer team coming to Madison. Mm-hmm. And so I helped Peter out with doing some like giveaways randomly around like downtown Madison, hiding scarves around the city, and, you know, as like giveaways, and just like he would post things on Instagram to give hints as to like where they were. And then from there he turned me into an intern, and then I went off, and now it's like where I've been, which is more part-time, and yeah, just he really got my feet wet. And then it was also kind of a big like thank you to Daryl Short as well, who wanted to get me involved with our first head coach, as well as our assistant coach Neil. Neil's still with the club, and he's always been like really good to me. I know he's someone that definitely has like a big impact, I think, in the community here. And then so then ever since then, yeah, just kind of been with the club and done quite a lot of stuff for the club too.
I mean, we can tell you do a lot of stuff for the club. You got 40 jobs.
Right. Don't get tired. So you've been with the club since its inception. Yeah. How have you seen it grown over these last few years, and what are you hoping to accomplish this year?
I think that's something that makes kind of Madison really, like the club for Madison, like kind of really unique in terms of the support. I think I was not expecting the first season for us to have 4,000 plus people averaging at every game, because I mean it was like really, really cool. And you know, where I sit sit at in the stadium. So now you guys might have to look out for me as like maybe like a little Easter egg. But when you see subs coming on, the person right behind the player is going to be me. So I'm just like right there, like I'm between both benches behind the fourth official. And then, you just see our supporters group, the flock, just buzzing loud, the drums, everything. Like we have a lot of supporters group and everyone just gathers into the flock and it's loud. And then it's contagious because then everyone in the stadium, they're like, oh, the songs are catchy. And, it's Wisconsin. People are having a good time. They're drinking. And so then everybody just tries to get involved. And like the flock is like kind of like people are sitting in their seat in the other end and they see the flock and everybody wants to like gather in the flock end. And then further on beyond that, I think what's been really impressive to me, just as a soccer fan, like I'm just always been a soccer nerd. I've been watching USL for years before there was a USL League One. And so my kind of fear when I found out about, there was going to be a team in Madison, I knew there was a lot of potential in this city. But one thing that I was worried about was what I've seen with so many other USL clubs was maybe the first year goes really well, and then there's a lack of consistency of being able to keep fans to keep wanting to come, or just like interest in the club around the city and stuff like that. So I think the consistency of like that we've gotten strong support throughout the years is like a huge testament of the club. And then furthermore about how like the club looks to grow, it's just I think our social media team is really, really good. And especially in connecting with not just Forward Madison fans, but pretty much fans all over the league. And I think there's a couple of other teams in the league too who are really good at it too, and not just us. And I think it kind of shows sometimes. I think the only thing that's tough is that, and something that nobody hides from around the club, front office and the technical staff, is that we haven't had success kind of like on the field in terms of, I think we've only made it to the playoffs twice, I think. Yeah, twice with Daryl Shore, if I'm correct. No, I don't remember out of the top of my head. But, we haven't made it to the playoffs every year, let alone made it at least to the championship game. And so I think there's a lot of focus right now, I think, amongst the fans and the club that we all want to do our part to ensure that we continue to kind of make it a great place for our players to want to stay motivated, and as well for our the rest of the technical staff.
So I want to ask you this: like, what were some of the biggest things you had to learn during your first year of being like a kind of director?
I think the first year was just kind of the first season when the first season started. I was like 19, 20 years old, and so I was just still kind of like shy, timid, and I mean, I always had confidence in myself, but it was just like a brand new environment. And for me too, being so close, to, behind the scenes. And then, I remember our first game was against Greenville, and, the name John Harkes is a big name in U.S. soccer. And so when it's the first game of the season and you have to tell a coach, like, you gotta tell your players to come out now, or you got to do this, you got to do that. I was like 19. I remember I was just kind of like, oh my God, like I'm telling John Harkes what to do. And so I'm telling John Harkes and his staff and his players what to do. And so it was kind of also just developing, kind of being comfortable in that kind of that environment and just kind of just being yourself. So I think that's where I kind of grew and learned a lot. But more so kind of just, also learning kind of just standing your ground too, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be the one. I don't want to get a phone call from someone in the front office like, "Hey, we got a fine," or because you didn't do your job or anything like that. So it was also about learning how to be composed, and then as I said, also taking responsibility to also care about the other team. Because if it was up to me, I tell Omaha, who's our closest rival, "Oh, you don't have. I don't know about warm-ups or whatever. Just do something little to, give us some sort of advantage."
Like not turn on the AC.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Well, trust me, dude. Our players. I mean, that's one thing that's great that the club is also doing is they're improving that, because it's something that's been complained from pretty much about everyone, the air conditioning and heaters.
So, Benny, I'm going to ask 5 questions. You tell me whether or not you are allowed. Well, I'm not going to say you. If I'm allowed to do this, if I was in your job, okay?
Yeah, I think so. And my full-time job, I work in education too. So you definitely be able to do this.
Okay. So I would ask, can I just make sure that the water's cold for the away team showers? Yes or no?
That's usually the responsibility of the equipment managers, and
so I'll pay him off.
So yes.
And I make sure that the electricity is kind of fidgety. Not lights, touch the outlet and die. But the lights are very dim. You might stub your toe. Can I do that?
At Bree Stevens, it would probably actually be pretty easy because it's a pretty old building, so it probably wouldn't be that
just like City Stadium. Thirdly, can I make sure that they have, instead of Gatorade, just like a bunch of fiber, so that way, around the 40th minute, they got to go, and then there's no toilet paper. Am I legally allowed to do this?
Probably not, because especially if something's missing from a team locker room, like the away teams get really, really frustrated and they'll report it to the league, and then you don't want to get a phone call from club owner kind of.
Yeah, okay.
Lastly,
can I say hey, warm-ups are at 8:00, but really they're at 7:50? Is that okay?
You'd be able to do it, but it would also be you probably get fired for that one.
So YOLO, got you. Okay.
I think you really buried the lead there. The real trick is to do what Chattanooga does and just have all the locker rooms and shipping containers, so the other team just uses their bus.
There we go.
Gotta go big brain, third eye.
Exactly. I wonder if that's what Northern Colorado is going to do.
Yeah. You can't get fined for the bathrooms not working if there are no bathrooms.
That's just what?
Common sense.
Third eye tweeting. Third eye. I like that. Also, joining us on the show is the father of the year, the father of 2, Mr. Kyle. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, God. It is.
You just sound depressed.
Having toddlers. You try fighting a toddler. Try fighting a toddler with bedtime. It's one of the biggest struggles anyone can face.
I told you, just shove them with melatonin and call it a day.
A little whiskey on the lips, right?
A lot of whiskey. That's what Cocomelon's doing his job.
It is what it is. He what? 2? He's fine. He can recover.
We got Cocomelon. It's fine. Cocomelon is doing the job.
Cocomelon's probably worse for your kid than whiskey. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but no one can trace the whiskey problem back to me. Cocomelon's whatever. I can just say it was on a timer. It shuts off eventually. Whiskey, if something goes wrong, then all of a sudden I'm going to get called from CPS.
He might be a little drunk, but nobody knows. Just say he's tired. There you go. Problem solved.
Maybe with Desmond that could work. With Sterling, no. The kid has too much energy, and it would be very obvious something is wrong with him.
Oh my gosh. Now that Kyle is here, let's get into the real nitty gritty. How much does the flock piss you off on game days? Them popping smoke, knowing it's not allowed in the league. Come on, it was the real.
I'd like the record to show that I did not ask that question.
No, it was all me. It was all me.
I'm waiting on this answer.
Same.
Wait, was that question for me or for Kyle?
Oh no, it was for you.
That's 100% for you.
Oh,
Kyle.
I can answer it too.
I love it.
I was going to say, I don't know how much of the match day ops that happens on the flock I can get pissed off with, considering I'm in charge of it.
No, I love it, and I know also other players that have played or other teams when they play against us. That's something that they always kind of say. I think just because the flock end is so close to the field, right behind the net, the smoke and just everything feels like it's there. And then I remember we've rattled quite a couple goalkeepers because the smoke is right on them. Fans are right behind them. The drums, they can feel the drums too. And you can feel the drums from midfield.
Goalkeeper in League One.
I remember they got into the head of New England Revolution's 2 goalkeeper. I think it was. I can't remember which goalkeeper, or it might have been Tucson's, but I don't remember. But I remember like the fans. He made like one mistake, and fans are gonna let him hear it about it. And I mean, he was like right behind them, and all you see is our fans just kind of just right behind you, just I don't know, just saying a bunch of I can't hear from my end, but you can just see the hand motions that they've had quite a bit to drink. So I'm like, that must be funny. And then and I remember he made it like a mistake, like kind of like right away, kind of like shanked I think like he shanked like a clearance or something. I don't remember truly, but I just remember after he did it the second time, I think he even messed up like 3 times on back passes, and he can just tell he was uncomfortable and just waiting for that first half to end so that he can go to the other side where it might be a little bit less rowdy.
Okay, all right. Kyle, get in here. Ask these questions.
All right, yeah.
Secrets?
No, well, here's my question. I have always wondered which player who's the best player to like talk to or interact with that you've experienced out of the Forward Madison players?
Like in the 4 years, or
in all 4 years.
Damn.
And then we can do this year.
I would say Noah Fuson, Ronaldo Lomeli. Noah was definitely probably like the guy who made me laugh the absolute most. I mean, Ronnie was also just a great guy, just always really cheerful. We're like just really sociable. I would say the majority of players have always been like that, but you just kind of, I don't know, some of these guys just their personalities I would say are a little bit more like open. So the ones that just came stuck, maybe it's recency bias too, but I would say the two would be like Noah Fuson, Ronaldo Lomeli, but I mean like Adi Jepson, Justin Suko, Derek Gebhard from last year, and these. I mean, first season, Josiel Nunez, he was a character. I really miss Josie. Paulo Jr., he was also really cool guy. He seemed like he was always like a serious guy, but just a really cool guy. Man. Yeah, probably that's probably all I got us. Yeah, I think that's it.
That's a pretty solid list. I'm not surprised by any of those. Just based off of their personalities, I figured that those guys would have been the ones that would have been said. But the other question, I have no clue if this has been asked, but what has things been like? Obviously, going from Coach Daryl Shore and to Carl Craig, and now to Coach Glazer. Like, what are some things you've noticed maybe that weren't there in the past, or what are some like key things that differentiated each coach?
Oh yeah, I like that question. I would say, I mean, I truly have nothing but really good things to say about Daryl Shore. I think that Daryl was like a really good kind of like motivator. I feel like if there was one thing that stuck out to me is even the second year, even if we weren't as good, you can just kind of sense that like Daryl's like the guys truly appreciated and I think would respected the opinions of Daryl. From the beginning, because I remember I was with the team in pretty much the whole preseason that first season. Since I was in school in Beloit, Wisconsin, and our preseason was in Rockford, Illinois, when they're like 20 minutes apart. So I was able to be there like so close and pretty much every day. And from like the very first day, and even when we held private tryouts and invitational tryouts, like guys right away wanted to impress Daryl. And I think in terms of style of play, like I think I see some similarities between Daryl Shore and Matt, and I think that's kind of because I don't know. I found it interesting that I found some similarities because they were both goalkeepers. So I feel like I don't know. Maybe there's something about like a different way that goalkeepers see the game, in the sense that like with Daryl, it was I think, in my opinion, at least from watching and, whatever my analysis might count towards. But I feel with Daryl was a lot more about structure on the field and organization going forward and transitions and on defense. And especially big on not allowing, a lot of open, like a counterattacks. Like he really truly wanted to prevent counterattacks. So sometimes it kept like numbers back, but it helped keep like that consistency. And I feel like I see some of that now with like Matt Glazer. and the way the team's playing. We just played the Fire 2 on Saturday, and it was like I think we went 4-1, 5-1, something like that.
Yeah, 4-1.
Yeah, 4-1. And I thought I was kind of judging hard on some of the Fire kids, but then that's the thing, right? They were kids. They were literally, I think their oldest player was probably like 22, 23. But what you saw, I think, in Matt Glazer style is you see really like sharp soccer in both on and off the ball. I think one thing that like, I don't know, it's just like really, really sharp on when they're going forward. He for sure wants them to attack with intention, but still, I think one thing that we'll see a lot with our new head coach is I think you'll see us being a lot more consistent this season, which I think is a good thing. As long as it gets us into the playoffs and being consistent, I think would be really nice. And then with Carl, I feel like I love Carl. Carl was, man, I love that man. I truly, truly did. I mean, his style of soccer, I think, fit perfectly for like the flock and like the atmosphere and the energy of our fans, because I feel like the way they played, it was really direct, just like high energy pressing soccer. And so when you got the drums going, the fans singing, and it's just like, it keeps you on your feet. You want to be on your feet, just being like as a spectator. And so when you're like a player, you could just genuinely see how that style of play fit really well into the players, because it caused the players to really play to the energy of the crowd. And so, yeah, I mean, it's like three different people. Like, Daryl was very professional. You can tell that guy has been around in the business for a long time, and he knew what he was doing. With Carl, it was really energetic, really funny guy. Just, I mean, man, I can't say enough good things about Carl Craig. And then you got Matt now, who's like, he's gonna strike everybody as like this really quiet, this really shy person. But he kind of reminds me as like, I coach too, and I'm kind of the same way. I can come off to sometimes like in practices or talking to my players as kind of like a quiet coach. But Matt is like just talking to himself on the sideline, talking to Neil or to other staff or to the players on the bench, which is what I would do a lot. If he sees something that someone messed up or he sees some things that got him mad, he'll just turn around and just like, why didn't he do this? Or he should have done that. Or I'm tired of these fucking flicks. It was just like
that beard makes him look very aggressively pissed off a lot of the time.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing, though. That's why I see some similarities between Daryl and like Matt, is that you just get that vibe that they know what they want in every single little detail of the game. So it's a three really different, I think, coaches. But I honestly have nothing but really good things to say about not just like the head coaches that we have, but also all the technical staff that have come through in the last 4 years. Some already off doing like bigger and better things. And I mean, it's not surprising. It has never been surprising to, any players I've played, front office staff, former staff, and the fans too. It's not surprising that, that there's a lot of great people that we hire for our players.
Okay. So I want to ask you this: what team has gave you the weirdest request about something?
This was something that was asked to me in a different podcast, and it's always the most interesting teams, the most interesting characters have been from the Liga MX clubs, or the Mexican clubs that have come, because they were both second division teams, but they were both very, very, very interesting, though really, really cool guys.
Okay.
What about with Hertha Berlin? Like, how are their requests? Because I feel like Hertha Berlin went from playing in this giant stadium in Berlin, and then they come over to America. They're playing in Minnesota, which is still like higher end, and then they come to Madison. Like, I feel like it was definitely a shift for them. So what was? And I know there was like the big storm, like confusion on if the game was going to even get played. So what were their requests like? Was there anything that was odd or specific for them?
No, I think the only thing that just maybe came off as like I mean, when they walked in, I mean, I'm there at the stadium like 2-3 hours before like kickoff, so literally I'm just there really early, and
You just there doing one of your 50 jobs.
getting things ready or waiting to pick up refs in the parking lot or whatever, and then or inspecting the field before the refs get there, or just to warn them beforehand about something that we might have to fix. But I remember they walked in and it was just like, oh shit, they don't fuck around at all. That was like a really, really surreal like experience. Like every single person from Hertha Berlin, from the owners to the bus driver to the trainers to the team doctor, you can just like sense that they're like big time. Like their body language, the way they talked, everything was like business and like the most professional I think I have ever been close to seeing, like in terms of how much professionalism there is from top to bottom. I've not seen a club come in that has come anywhere close to that.
The Germans are known for not being very serious. So that's a little surprising too.
It was, and then on the field, as soon as they took the field, I couldn't. It was just like really, man. It was really dope. Like you always see it on TV, but it's so different when you're watching it in person and you see how just like crazy good even like a low end player is on those type of teams. I remember like their third string center defensive mid was playing, and we were getting pressed. We did a pass back to Ryan Coulter, who was in goal, and Ryan just cleared it. And their player, it's like an MLB really experienced outfielder. It's right off the bat, they turn around and they go to the spot. So this guy sees like the clearance of the ball, turns around, starts sprinting, and then like in the last like like the ball was just about to come over his head. He like peers over to see it was actually coming, and like on the full sprint, like he just sprinted probably like 40-45 yards. His back behind the ball in the air just takes like the cleanest, crisp touch I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, the stadium, everyone in the stadium was even like you heard a little ooh. And I mean that was like their third string like center defensive mid, kind of just more like a squad player. And I mean it was just the same thing for like everybody. They were nuts. It was pretty nuts, and they're not even like one of the top teams. So I'm just like, can you imagine?
Yeah, you can tell I'm about to get relegated.
Yeah, like, can you imagine what like a Borussia Dortmund or a Bayern Munich looks like up close in person?
So I had a question for you, Benny. You mentioned being a Pumas fan earlier. What was it like growing up in that type of with that type of soccer? Like, it's different.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's super different. I mean, if it's I mean, members in my family, I mean, my godfather's a Cruz Azul fan. A few of my uncles are Chivas fans.
How y'all not fighting every week? What?
Oh yeah, I mean, we see a family gathering and it's or a birthday party, and it's like if it's perfect timing when they just played each other, or even if they're not playing each other, we always like growing up always gave each other shit. Just America lost, America sucks. And then my brother watches soccer very neutrally. He's never really fallen for a club, and he just knows the clubs that I absolutely hate the most. There's two teams that I hate the most, and they're Club America and Liverpool. And so then my brother always gives me shit about like Pumas or America. If America wins, he'll text me and say about a player, and he'll just say like he's a god, America is the best or whatever, just to piss me off.
Oh, that sounds like Union Omaha fans.
Yeah, it sounds like a great brother, honestly. Like, when you're down at your lowest point, just like rubbing your nose in it.
Yeah.
Great brother, man.
Yeah, no, and then I mean, yeah, my brother gave me so much crap after the 3-0 loss against New England. He was like, "LOL, Pumas is so shit they can't even handle an even more shit MLS team." And
he's not wrong.
See, at that point, we gotta fight.
Yeah.
At that point, I just actually, hey, what's your frustration, big fella? What you trying to do?
He's not wrong though. Like he knew. See, that's that third eye thing we were talking about. He knew how shit they were.
Yeah, and then after Pumas comes back, he texts me and he texted me. He always texts caps, LOL, He said, "LOL. Pumas had to go to a PK shootout against a really shit MLS team. Their ass."
But it's like, but they still won.
I only know one way.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't care if we won.
Yeah. Yelling. Why? Why are you yelling?
And they love to do it because I genuinely get pissed. I'm like, no, what are you talking about? Like, we're better or whatever. And I just I fall for the bait every single time.
That's why they keep doing it. So
yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it.
It's like Kyle when it comes to Union Omaha fans. It's that one tweet that's gonna piss Kyle off.
I just say one every time. Like I gotta ask.
Matured, thank you very much. And a couple Twitter bans have made me growth.
Done their job.
Yeah, growth. I haven't called anyone a bitch ass coward in like 2 weeks.
Till tonight. I gotta ask though. So now you've been working with Forward Madison for a couple years. So let's just say, hypothetically, here in 3 weeks out from the 9th, when Omaha waxes Madison 4-0 in front of a 4,200 person crowd, is your brother texting you and saying, "LOL, you look like ass"? That Owl team, though, pretty cool.
Yep. So I mean, my brother sometimes, I mean, he's I brought him to Madison quite a few times, and and I mean, he just loves to get a reaction from me. So one time it was against Omaha and we lost. I think it was at Omaha. Or no, it was when I was at the game when Connor Tobin scored that like game tying header. But my brother texted me right after that game. I mean, he knew that I was there, and he texted me right after that game.
You were working.
Yeah. he texted me, "LOL, I've never even heard of Omaha, and you guys lost."
Hey, yeah. See, at that point, I'm actually like, "Hey, bro, you trying to fight this out?" We blooded all, but it's work.
Blood spill blood. What you mean?
Yeah, and then like I remember when I think once we lost to Tormenta, he did the exact same team. He was like, "What the hell is a Tormenta? You guys lost."
Okay, I'm not mad at that because everyone asked that question when they first came in the league.
He was asking valid. He was making good points. I'm just saying.
Was he?
I like your brother. I'm just saying. We got the same energy. Finally.
Sounds like a great guy. Love to get a beer with him.
Sadly, my brother doesn't drink. I'm the only one in my family that drinks.
I just need him not to text in like caps.
I know.
Where's the spoon? Why are we yelling, bro?
What is a Tormenta? I'm my bad.
Sir. I'm just trying to ask.
Yeah.
His phone's figured it out too, where when he goes to hit that all caps and hits that L, it just already spells out "LOL, your team sucks" and auto predicts.
Yep.
Right. You already know. So you insult somebody, right? Okay. Here you go.
Oh gosh. Benny, how long have we been talking? 43 minutes. Well, let's keep going. Benny.
We have another like 35 minutes before we're even at the halfway point, right?
Oh yeah.
Then we'll end it, and then we'll talk about questions. Yeah, we'll end it, then we'll talk about our regional food for the next 40 minutes, like an interview.
That's literally what I'm here for. Benny, you said you went to school in the Wisconsin area. You now working with Forward Madison. It seems like Wisconsin has kind of shaped you as a fan and as a person.
Oh yeah.
How do you hope to take everything that you've learned and apply it as you move forward, even if it's not with Forward Madison?
No, yeah. I mean, I've said this to my mom all the time, and like I genuinely I was so shocked at how much just being in Wisconsin impacted me, even though I was in the border in Beloit, Wisconsin, right in the border of Illinois and Wisconsin. Now I was only an hour and 20 minutes from Chicago, so I was really close to home. But I genuinely was so shocked at how much I was found myself falling in, kind of just like really falling heavy for the Wisconsin cultures. And it truly started because my first coaching job was when I was a freshman in college. I was an assistant coach for a varsity girls soccer team. And it was like a small town, half an hour away from me. And, it was like, and even just because it was just it's not a soccer town really, or it wasn't at least that much when I was there, but it was a huge community of like supportive people of their town, and people would actually come to the games. Even though I played high school in Chicago, in high school in Chicago, and even though like soccer, everybody pretty much or a lot of people watch soccer, kind of rarely would like my high school games at least be really packed unless we were in the championship game or something like that. But like for us, and then even more so, I just kind of like I genuinely had very kind of very like negative thoughts of Wisconsin. I genuinely thought that Wisconsin was going to be a place where like there were going to be probably. I was like, maybe because it's a girl sport, not that many people are going to want to come out. I just felt like that was going to be such a huge Wisconsin thing for some reason, especially in a town, in a small rural like 98% white town. I just kind of started, and I would say I was definitely being like prejudiced towards it, but it blew me away at like in Chicago. I never really felt like I experienced Midwestern niceness until I got to Beloit, Wisconsin, Evansville, Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. Just the people that I've met, the people that have opened their homes to me, let me stay at their homes, invited me out to drinks. I was just genuinely blown away by it. And so it's changed me as a person like incredibly much. I'm a completely different person than who I was when I first, took my first steps into my dorm room in Beloit, Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin really has like taken me out of my shell and really helped me grow. And it's because I just, no matter, even if it's someone that I met yesterday, here in Wisconsin, that person would generally be there for you and be a good friend of yours. I don't think I really met a lot of bad people in the Wisconsin, but at the same time, I know they exist. And I think I've also been very, very fortunate. I've never really, I don't know. It definitely kind of is like, I feel torn because I love it here, but at the same time, there's a lot of issues in Wisconsin.
Sure.
Yep. Just like the state legislature. Perfect example of it.
There you go. There's example one.
we can go all day with that, but
yeah, I could definitely go all day.
So
I have a question.
Oh, you have a question? I have a question.
And Yogi looked like he had one, but go ahead.
I mean, my question don't count. Y'all can ask.
Why don't your question count? Now I got to hear it.
No, I can wait.
Okay.
He's just setting this up. It's gonna be like, what's your favorite snack after a game day or something?
Well, you know what? This chick already asked it. What is it? I really give it out pre and post game.
My post game ritual, whether it's sometimes I just want to be by myself after a long day, or I go out with I do invite a couple players to join me, and my post game ritual is getting Stella cider and cheese curds. That's
Wait,
my post game ritual.
Stella cider cheese curds?
No, it's a Stella Artois cider beer, like apple cider.
But those still don't match.
Yeah, I like something.
He was out here double fisted, like, hey, I got these Stellas and ciders, dog. What's good?
So I bet Yogi and Ebony don't know the secret about Wisconsin cheese curds. So that's a little secret the three of us have.
Oh no, I've had them. I was there for a while, and they're so fantastic. They still don't match.
Yeah. Do you know what the good ones do, Yogi?
What?
If you have good cheese curds, what do they do?
I don't know.
They squeak when they squeak when you eat them.
Oh, what? No.
What the fuck is a cheese?
Okay, the non-deep fried.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
That's something my mother-in-law taught me. It's really weird, like a weird sensation when you do it. I don't personally enjoy it, but some people do.
See, now I got a problem with that. But also that don't match. It don't match. Cider and cheese curds.
Why not?
Cheese and cider don't match.
That's
okay.
I would disagree.
It's a very French thing.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna have cider, that's close to wine, and you have wine with cheese, like
yeah.
Okay.
It's not like he was saying he's gonna have gin and tonic with cheese curds.
Well, you said post. What's your pregame meal?
I typically kind of sometimes I don't really eat.
So you do the JT Chimera.
Yeah. What is with y'all?
Well, I usually don't. I don't eat because that's one of the perks about being a Forward Madison staff member. You can get food for free, so usually right before halftime.
That's where all the shirt money is going to. Now it makes sense. I have 5 kids. I gotta feed the whole goddamn staff.
I get hungry after halftime. After kind of like the big chunk of the day is like done. After the referees walk out and the players walk out and they're about to start kickoff, and after the lines kind of clear out from the halftime traffic, I go get myself like just like some Gatorade and like a pizza or a burger or a hot dog or I don't know whatever I'm in the mood for a certain day.
So it's not as ridiculous as Jimmy Oblatos. All right, he has still got the most.
He's still the king. I don't know. JT Chimera's is almost weirder than that. I'm just going to go out here on an empty stomach and just like be the best young player in the league.
Yeah.
Not even like a juice box and orange slice to my stomach.
You will never understand how much that pissed me off when I heard that. I can attest to it. I looked at this man like, you did what?
Well, I know the league has all discovered the Footy Scran account. And they all seem to be interested in making it on Footy Scran, which certain teams in certain Midwest states may be making it on in the bad way. No names, but their colors are probably black and white. What item have you had at a Forward Madison game or seen at a Forward Madison game that you think is worthy of the title Scran?
Man, I wish I could tell you, but I don't really I generally don't know what's on the food menu besides.
I bet you don't. You get it for free.
Well, because I need it. The thing is that as much as I'd want to grab my feast and eat it at my seat in midfield behind the fourth official, as much as I want to be feasting there,
I
definitely couldn't. I wish I could. So if I do bring something to eat with me to the seat there, it'll have to be something quick, because if not, it will be really unprofessional. If I know for sure Neil, our assistant coach, and if it's Neil, it's going to be every coach in the league. If they come over to me and give me a sub card and I'm feasting on whatever is really good or on the food menu. So I always get something quick because that's something that's come just as a learning experience. Just being here in my role is that things can happen extremely spontaneously. So it's always you don't really have a lot of time to kind of go socialize or munch on food. You got to be on your toes and be ready for anything to happen.
Oh, so you better.
I don't even know what would be on there, because I honestly don't know what half the food. It's kind of the same thing. Like most of the time, if I am grabbing food, it's like a burger or a brat, and I'm on my way. Yeah. I'm sure there's something.
I saw you guys had like currywurst. I don't know if that's like a permanent fixture, if that was only for like the Hertha game or something.
Well, and that's one exciting thing about this season. There's going to be
add more.
They're going to be adding a lot more food, and I don't know, but it's apparently going to be really, really good.
I know they had catfish for the Omaha game.
Ooh, I did not know that.
What?
Wait, time out. Excuse me. Time the fuck out. Who had catfish?
Forward Madison had catfish, and it happened to be after a certain incident with the Omaha team last year.
Kyle, I'm blaming this personally on you as a black fan.
I know that catfish had no bit of seasoning whatsoever.
I was home being a family man. I had nothing to do with this.
You're still personally responsible that a team in Madison, Wisconsin had fucking catfish. I'm pissed. Everybody has their one. Mine is the entire menu of Backyard Bistro. Don't get it. Next.
Oh.
It's trash. Don't do it. Yogi knows it's trash. Don't do it.
Bro, y'all out this bitch serving dry ass catfish.
Yeah, they are. I'm pissed.
You can't get nobody to season the catfish.
In fairness, in Wisconsin, they know their way around a fish fry.
No. No. I'm pissed.
I'm
I know why I'm being blamed. I wasn't even at the stadium. I was nowhere to be found when this happened.
Benny, who do I contact? Do I got to call Peter? Like, do I need to text him?
No, sadly, Peter. Unfortunately, Peter's no longer with us anymore.
Oh, was it because of the catfish?
Probably was. One black person complained, "This dry ass cat."
Did he know you were going to bring up the catfish tonight? And he was like, "Yeah, I gotta go." Like,
oh man, yo, Benny, what's been your favorite jersey Forward Madison has worn this year? There's been a lot of them.
It's probably going to be the it was definitely the drip kit. That jersey I thought was really cool.
really?
And there was I wish the jersey that would have came out was the one that I remember that what I found out later on was that after the season ended, our away kit last year, the white one with the white polo and the flamingos all over it, the Flock designed a different away kit, and that one would have definitely probably taken my top spot over the drip kit. Regardless, the drip kit I think for sure has been honestly probably one of my favorite jerseys I think that I've ever really seen.
You didn't like the reversible?
That one was really dope. Like the beach one, yeah, that one was really dope. I love that one too. There's been a lot of good ones.
Now, okay, I want to ask you this question about that jersey because that's the jersey they changed at halftime, right?
Yeah.
So, what was going through your mind? Because like it takes a while for the players to get in there because they gotta change all this other stuff. They gotta rest up, learn like how much you like. Hey, look, guys, I know we're doing a wardrobe change, but
no.
This was on the road, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Well, something that I mean, I don't know. Some people might know, but something that every team takes 2 jerseys. For each player travels or in their locker room has at least 2 jerseys. And so I think mostly they'll get changed. Or so for example, if you're playing in Fort Lauderdale and it's 90 plus degrees and humidity and your jersey is dripping sweat at halftime, you will change that jersey to your other jersey. And so with that reversible kit, maybe a little secret that I'm letting out about that kit in the locker room at least was that some of those jerseys that the players have were not reversible kits. So like the black kit was just the black kit, and then they would have a different jersey for the for the beach theme one. So there were, but obviously some players give their jerseys away to their family members or their friends, and so that's when you started seeing the reversible kits actually coming into the locker rooms. But I would a lot of them were just the one kit and then just change, or the jersey, just the one jersey, and then you change at halftime or whenever to the other one.
Okay. Oh man, this has been a hilarious podcast.
This is great.
Forward Madison sells dry catfish sandwiches. Man.
And there's your food. There's your food for the time. There's your food input.
Yeah, but I'm really disappointed.
Don't serve dry ass catfish. Check.
And you won't get flamed in the comment section. That's it. Like you got the standards. They're like right here. And
all that money y'all spend on kids, y'all can at least spend a little bit on Obey.
And I've toured your stadium, and it's a nice fucking stadium, and you have a really good professional chef. What else did he use besides salt and pepper on that catfish?
Pepper's a little spicy for the Wisconsin palate.
Ooh,
probably
for some, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
I mean, I was always curious to see how the culture, when we had the culture night, how that, because we had black-owned restaurants come by and serve the food.
God, how much I need to raise for your bail fine?
We'll discuss that off camera.
Oh. Okay. Benny, before we get you up out of here, my man, who is the one player that USL League One fans should be looking out for this year? Who's going to be the guy that's like, oh, he's the superstar of the team?
That's a really good. Oh man, that's a good question. There's quite a few players that I'm excited about from across the league and with us in Madison. I would say the one I'm definitely I think that everyone is really excited to see is I'm completely blanking on the name right now, but the striker that Tormenta has signed, that played
Which
for
one?
Spurs.
Oh, not Kings.
Yeah, I don't remember, but
they only have 16 strikers and 2 defenders.
Yeah. So that Kingsford kid that they signed is supposed to be really, really good as well. Is it Sterling? It might be Sterling.
Sterling, yes, I think it is Sterling. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm excited about that one. I think it'll be exciting, even though I know a lot of people were just like, oh, well, that was a guy that was like falling off his career or whatever. But I think that's something that I have just learned from watching is that you should never judge really a player from where they were playing, because we've had a lot of guys come in to try out with us or train with us who are playing the University of Wisconsin or Northern Illinois University. And then, or even when we had tryouts, there's a kid who played D2, D3 who just kind of like impresses you. But yeah, he's one. And then I'm actually really kind of excited to see Jake Keegan back in Greenville. I think he's for sure. I think he's going to be a little bit more happier there. And I think he'll feel at home. It's not really just any shade. It just didn't work out as the way that we all kind of wish it did. In Madison, and it's due to multiple reasons. And Jake is a really professional guy who truly gave his all to the club. I love Jake Keegan. I still keep in touch with him to this day. So, and I'm excited because I know what he can do when he's comfortable and when he's in his game. Because, it's just he's not a young player. That's just the reality. He's not 21, 22. So you can kind of hold on to him, and he himself can't stay somewhere where he just didn't feel comfortable because it's about trying to be the best now. So I'm excited to see him. Another returning player is I'm excited to see Alex Morel back in Tormenta. I've known Alex since from when he got drafted with the Chicago Fire, and he played the one season in MLS with Chicago Fire. And I genuinely have always loved him and followed him when he was with the Rowdies in Tampa Bay, and then when he was with Tormenta. So I'm excited for that one. I'm excited for him too. And then, but the player that I've just been absolutely stoked about is Drew Connor at Forward Madison. I've known Drew Connor since I was like 16 years old, and me and Drew have kind of known each other for a pretty long time. When I met him, he had just barely signed his homegrown contract for the Fire. And so I remember the first season was when he had just been let go by the Fire. And I truly, truly wanted him in Madison. I tried to pitch it into Peter at that time that we should try to go after Drew. And so now that he's in Madison, I'm very excited, and he looked so good this past Saturday, and I know he's also looked good the rest of the preseason. And I mean, I went to go watch him play in Nisa this past season too. Drew. I've always loved watching Drew Connor play, and it remains the same today. And I think he's absolutely going to tear the league apart. I'm very excited.
So Drew makes his team of the season. That means you get him the check, right?
That means maybe it's a promotion.
Yeah.
And then
what's left besides owner for him?
What's up?
What's left besides owner? What kind of promotion are we looking at?
You do have 50 jobs.
All right.
Technical director, like the technical director.
No. I mean, I do a lot for the club, but I do it like just out of like I said, I love the club, and I genuinely feel blessed being a part of like just a pro soccer team, even if it's in a small capacity. I love it. Like, it's genuinely like a dream come true to be able to call professional soccer players friends. I've gained a good friendship with a U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer in John Harkes, and I struck a little friendship too with his wife Cindy when she came to Madison too. So like, I mean, it's all been surreal. So for me, just being a part of it all, it's so dope. I feel like like a little kid is like, like again, it brought that excitement back.
I get that, but Benny, when we do these contract negotiations, I need to lay off all 60 of them jobs. All right? Can't be like, oh, I love it from my heart. No.
No.
All 70 of them jobs on the line.
I'm underutilized, and Union Omaha called me, and they said I would only have to do 30 jobs.
Right.
Ball's in your court now.
It's like,
but I don't know. It's just it's also about me being patient. I'm only 23, so I'm trying to really get into the technical side of the game. So I'm working through my badges right now, so I'm not expecting to be named head coach tomorrow, let alone an assistant coach tomorrow. But,
damn.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I'm not laughing at you, man. I'm laughing at every reaction when you said how old you was. And she was like, "Bro, I'm old. Like what?"
Someone didn't read the pre-show notes with that Madison 365 article.
Man, he said,
"Fuck them notes."
I have never prepared for a show, Chip. I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah, that is true. That is on you. If you expected that, that's on you.
I will say, reading
that,
that,
you've done a lot to be only 23. God damn. God damn.
I will say, reading that Madison 365 article, which is really great. I posted it on Twitter yesterday. I found when I was writing some of the notes, I thought it was a typo. I was like, "There's no way this guy's 23. He's all over the place. There's like everything under the sun. That's got to be just transposed." And then they're like the dates matched up, and I was like, "I gotta look." And it's like, "Yeah, kid's 23. Damn." But I think that's really shows like how impressive your path was from, going from trying to be a pro soccer player with Indy 11. And then when you had your head injuries, going and finding a different path to be a part of the game that you loved and thriving in it, which I think is a really, really cool story.
Yeah, I just always wanted to be a part of the game somehow. Just somehow, I've always loved being a part of it, no matter what it was going to be.
I just can't believe at 23 you're doing this, and at 23 I was still just having peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and ramen for dinner.
Man, 23. I was at the YMCA, like trying not to get fired.
Fuck, I don't even know where I was at 23.
Oh,
what?
I don't know why. That was random.
Am I supposed to say what I was doing at 23 now? Just a single camera? I was working a soulless corporate job. That's what I was doing at 23. There you go.
Shit, I don't even know what I was doing at 23.
All right, so we've had some interesting scores so far in the Open Cup. I am just going to quickly jump in there.
Oh, yeah, I'm watching that. I literally have that right behind me. I have it.
So Cleveland and Chicago.
Yeah, for Cleveland, because he's giving me
Cleveland just tied it.
They just,
yeah, by the 90th, like 88th, I think it was.
Like, what? Okay, now I gotta watch this now. God damn.
And then Clarkstown Eagles against Westchester United. They're tied at 2-2, 94th minute. The Villages is winning 5-0 against the Orlando Wolves. So shout out to Villages.
Their golf carts there.
Oyster Bay is winning 3-0 against Hartford City. That's in the 77th minute. And then Southern States against Georgia Revolution started. That's in the 6th minute. And then Denton Diablos against Defeaters Kicks 1-1 at the 31st minute.
All right, so what game are you watching right now, Benny?
Sorry. Westchester United just scored.
Oh, shit.
I'm watching.
Literally as I refresh the page.
Yeah, the winner of this game is who we host for our game of the Open Cup. So,
which game? I'm sorry.
Cleveland and Chicago FC United, or United FC.
Please get the fat goalkeeper from Cleveland. Dog, I'm serious, yo. Like, you know how they do, like, oh, he's the... Like, I swear, I think this man has, like, a whole backstory. I'm probably making this up.
Oh, man. I feel like
everyone has a backstory, Yogi.
Have you guys ever seen the, the New Amsterdam FC owner who topped in on goal for New Amsterdam in Nisa to give himself his pro debut? And
yes.
Yeah, that was.
I thought we were talking about pizza for a minute. I was like, oh, no. There goes another 30 minutes of my life on this podcast.
Yeah, that was the first sign that some shit was fucked up over New Amsterdam.
Yeah,
he's 100% the villain of U.S. soccer that I love.
If anything, he's a folk hero.
He did what every other person that owns the team has thought about doing. Hell, I thought about doing it.
I mean, to be fair, that's what I thought too. I was like, man, that's kind of effed up. Like, I thought about our owner, Connor. I'm like, well, at least, or just Can you imagine? I just was telling myself, can you just imagine if like our owner Connor just decided one day I'm gonna step in goal against Union Omaha in our biggest game of the season or something?
I hope he does. Give him that idea.
And but at the same time, right? If he wanted to, then he had the power to do so. And if I was in his shoes, I'd probably do the same thing. But I'd given myself only like 5 minutes because that's probably how much I'd be able to play now. But I think he put himself like a whole half or something like that.
Wait. You're 23. You will only give yourself 5 minutes?
Oh yeah, I have. I mean, I did not run. I used to run a lot, and then the pandemic hit, and then I was not running.
If you only doing 5, that's any shit. I got 2 minutes.
One sprint, one full field sprint. Like, see, I play right back, and so if I go up, if I'm overlapping, and then I got to sprint all the way back. After that sprint, I'm done. I am done. It's not gonna happen.
See, that's why I play far back, center back. I was a damn near goalkeeper playing center back. You want me to go how far?
Nah, I'm gonna stay right here.
Left back.
The goalkeeper about to be friends, buddy.
No, I'll play a 6 in that way. Oh, y'all are attacking? Okay, cool. I'll stay back here just in case. I'll be a sweeper.
Though that's the position I wish I was good enough to play like as a 6. I play Sunday leagues now, like recreational leagues, and I'm like, yeah, play me up top or play me in the 6 or play me the 10. I don't know why now that I'm older, I really love playing there.
You can't say older and be 23, sir.
Right? Like,
all of us are 30 and have back pain.
Well, I don't know. It was just when I was like 18, I was like on the right wing. I was just able to run up and down all day long, and so that's what I was used to.
You probably won't eat him before games and scoring 3 goals a game.
First of all, I'm 28. I am 28.
You are 30, okay?
Don't fuck with me.
Everything over 27 is 30 in my eyes now.
Fuck out of here with that.
I am 30, so we know that.
I'm 28, 30.
28. That Hartford City game looks boring now. It is 3-0.
That's what it is.
Well, I know I'm going to get in trouble if I don't ask this question. So I know last year, Omaha had the opportunity to clinch first place in the league by beating Forward Madison. They did not. They lost 2-0. The fullback turned striker made sure of that, even did a little dance on the Omaha bench because it was like 20 degrees out that night. After that game, it comes out that what motivated the Madison players that day was the Who Gives a Hoot podcast about the Forward Madison team and their playoff chances. So I won't ask directly about that. You can comment on it if you would like. What factors go into the motivation of some of these guys that maybe aren't fully related to what's the game in front of them? Like, do you think like stuff like that impacts these players at the League One level?
Oh yeah, especially more. I don't think players take it as much as in a bad way, but there's guys that take it as they want to prove a message. And that's one thing that I had heard from was that the Omaha coaching staff was pretty chirpy too, and they wanted to make a point. And so one player specifically, I don't know if you remember this other incident, and I love this guy, Tank Josiah Trimmingham. He was the one that when he scored in Omaha and chipped the goalkeeper, and he went over to Omaha's bench to celebrate.
Jay was not happy.
That was the funniest shit in the world.
Yeah.
So that was one of the most gangster moments in League One because I literally thought Jay was about to throw a chair.
In retrospect,
go full Bobby Knight.
In retrospect, it was pretty funny because I know for a fact, and hopefully I won't get in trouble for saying this,
whatever.
I mean, if I do, who cares? I know for a fact that they had the champagne in the back room, they had the tarps, they were just waiting for the game to look like it was going in a good direction. They're going to tarp off the locker room for the celebration, and I believe that was the goal that made them be like, well, let's just stay for the day.
Yeah. I wish I traveled for that game. I wish that was my trip to Omaha because I mean, Josiah's not with the team anymore, so I don't mind sharing it out. But I had been texting with him, and he said he really wanted to score a goal or 2 or 3 because
or 4. Why not?
Yeah, because he just wanted he really wanted to beat Omaha, and he really wanted to at least to score at least a game winner against Omaha because I don't remember. I don't know. I do remember, but I'm not going to say it. But I don't want to get dirty looks either this season. I'm kind of trying to step away from getting in trouble and dramas because I've gotten into it quite a bit.
You don't need Neil sending you a message after the match.
No, it's not Neil. No, it's not Neil. But Neil has that. I love Neil. That man has everyone's back. Players, coaches. He's got your back. He's got your back. He had my back on a certain other incident, but with that one, it was members of the Union Omaha coaching staff had been saying that Josiah Trimmingham is the worst player in the league, does not deserve to be playing in the league, and is really trash or something along those lines is what I was told that they were saying, and so Josiah wanted to go out there and send a message. So that's why he went over to the bench and right in front of their he didn't even like on the sideline, literally got in their face. And
I believe he was physically on the bench.
Yeah.
It was so cold the bench player was inside.
And so like, I mean, I did not think that. I was like, there's no way he's going to do it. Right. And then he scores, and then they turned the camera, and he's on the bench in front of Jay Mims, and Jay Mims is like, what's going on? And I was watching it at home, and I was having some beers watching it, and they tuned into that, and I was like,
everything starts off with a beer.
I was like, yeah, seriously. I had like 2 beers. I was like 2 beers in. I'm like, did 2 beers really get me that drunk? Did that really just happen? And then,
there's something in this shit.
And then I go on Twitter, and then that was like all that US League One Twitter was kind of talking about was like, did Josiah Trimmingham just celebrate in Omaha's bench? And I was like, oh yeah, never mind. I did see right.
That was a glory.
He said, "Fuck your feelings, violence enhanced." Like
Yeah, that was some goat energy. I think that was like I honestly had never. I mean, you hear players say all the time, that's what they want. You want them to like. I mean, players want to motivate themselves and say, "I'm going to score a goal," or "We're going to keep a clean sheet," or whatever. Or I'm going to make sure I hold this guy down. But that was, I think, the first time that I genuinely I saw it in his eyes too, and just like from talking to him, he was serious and that he was going to do it no matter what. So that was pretty cool. That was cool. And just to see all that, I thought that was also really good shithousery. So I love seeing some shithousery happen. Especially, I'm like, we need to see that more in this league, man. Like, come on, it just makes it more entertaining. I just think it's also like players, you just like stand your ground too. It can be if no one else is doing it, they're gonna get intimidated when you do it. And I mean that's what kind of happened with Josiah Trimmingham. Like that night, he was the boss. Like he was like his I don't know, the way he was composing himself that night after scoring the second goal was just like, he was feeling it. And I feel like, and then I think counter-reactive to that was you saw the Omaha players just kind of say like, well, we're not clinching tonight, I guess.
Every team needs a shithouser.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah.
Kind of happens. I love it.
Yeah.
Who's that team this year though? Who's that team that's just gonna wreck shit in this league?
Is Tormenta still in this league? 100% though.
You're not shithousing.
It's gonna be Hailstorm, but
Yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah, actually,
I think it's Chattanooga.
That's what I was gonna say. I think that's who I was going to be leaning more toward Chattanooga. From having observed Jimmy from the sidelines and like really close, like he's good. Like he's good at what he does. And I mean, I don't know. He's definitely a coach that's left a really big impression on me just from seeing him.
His breakfast choice will get him put on a list one of these days. So that's for sure.
Oh.
I don't want to think about that.
What rivalry means more to the players, Richmond or Omaha?
I think.
I'm just gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. It seems like it's Omaha because that's the one that pissed off to another level.
I think Omaha is the one that's had the most drama. But I mean, the first season for sure, the players wanted to win the Henny Derby. They 100% wanted to win it because they thought it was something that they could do for the fans.
For me,
yeah.
Not the fans.
We were all doing
I just wanted to know, Kyle. We won the first game, and that's the most important game ever.
No, we won it the first year. I don't give a shit. The first game.
That's why you won it the first year. Who won the first game?
But who won the next two?
Doesn't matter.
No, it does.
No, went on the road. We were dog shit. Y'all were in the playoffs,
and we still made it to the playoffs.
Doesn't matter.
I keep forgetting how dog shit Richmond was that first year.
Oh, we were bad.
I genuinely won on the final, won the third and final one. Take the Derby trophy home. Yeah, and made the playoff. No, I think it matters. I don't think that first game meant shit. It's a nice participation award.
That first year. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. That first year with Richmond, it was like I genuinely, honestly, really liked that team and that staff, even though they were not, on the table, they were not that good.
Everyone did. Sure. We just all knew we were dog shit. Like,
but I mean,
collectible losers that everyone was like, "Oh, I love them."
Like another player that I've known, that I've known Joe Gallardo since he's my age. So, and I've known him since I was like 14, 15. Like we just connected through Instagram when we were like young. And he's the one that made it. He was like playing for Monterey Academy, U.S. Youth National Team. So I was really hyped to see him play because I always knew that he had the talent. The talent's always been there. I just never knew what it was that it didn't click with, like Orlando City B, Orlando City. And
it is Orlando City B.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it was when they were in the championship too. So if USL League One was a shit show with them, I remember the championship was too. He was what a baller. And I mean, it's not surprising that he got a transfer to Liga MX like right after, especially since he still had those Mexican connections. But a really special moment that I will never forget was with David Bullo after the first time they came to Madison. So, I remember, I think we creamed them like 4-0 or something like that. It was a big win for us. I don't remember, but no, I remember they were pissed. They were very pissed. But almost all the players left from Forward Madison. The stadium was completely empty. And so I'm walking up the tunnel to see if, did I leave anything at the refs table or maybe something that I could help out in doing? And then I look up at a railing, and it's David Bullo just like standing there and just like no headphones on, nothing, just like watching, looking around Bree Stevens, looking at the field, and just kind of like, you just kind of like taking in what he just was in. And so when he came back down, I just kind of like I introduced myself fully to him since the game was over, and it looked like him being pissed kind of went away, and so and then I told him, I'm just getting into coaching, and so like I learned a lot from watching you or whatever, and I was like I just saw that you were overlooking the field too. It's like you're just like enjoying the view. I said something along those lines, and he said, I'm really pissed that we lost, but these are like nights that you kind of like dream about being in, because that night, we had like close to a sellout that night. I think we had the smoke out too that night, and like the Flocken is always super loud, especially Saturday nights. And so he just like genuinely like just expressing how much he loved. It was like a night that helped him at least remember this is like why he loved doing it. Just great atmosphere, a good game. And so that kind of really like struck me because he was pissed that he lost, but he genuinely appreciated what he was doing. So I've always held like high remarks towards him. So when he passed away, that kind of honestly like hit like really, really hard. Let alone when he got fired, I was also I was looking really forward to seeing him again. And then unfortunately, like I didn't see him anymore after that first season.
Yeah, we all were. Rest in peace, David Bullo. He was a great
coach.
He was my guy. Oh man, Benny, I just want to say I think everyone on here is also thinking like this has been a super fun podcast. Now I know that I have to bring hot sauce and Obey to Breezefield whenever y'all do
MSG.
Yeah. Lord Jesus. Kyle, I'm really disappointed in y'all about that again.
We'll
do better, I guess. We'll do better.
Yeah, got to. What you mean do better? Be better, damn it. Benny, where can everyone contact and reach out to you on social media, man? Because you got an amazing story, my
guy. Twitter, it's at Francisco Benny, and then my Instagram is BennyD10_. And then that's something too. I mean, I love talking soccer. Like, I mean, that's why I was so happy that I got invited to come on, because there's not that many people that watch USL League One. So, it's a small but growing community. So just being able to talk about something that I love watching, USL League One, being able to talk about it with other people, it's dope. It's really cool. I enjoy it.
Word. Also, one last question. USA Mexico, how much are you rooting for chaos?
I want chaos.
Chill out.
I want chaos.
I think U.S. Soccer's had enough Twitter drama for the week.
It's
not even game time yet.
I mean, even if they win, there's going to be Twitter drama. U.S. Soccer. There's going to be Greg Berhalter critics. I've actually met Greg Berhalter, and I mean, he's a good guy and he knows what he's doing. And I think he's doing a decent enough job, and I think he's doing what every other coach would do, which is pick players that he knows and that he feels will do well and get the job done. We're all going to disagree, but ultimately, I mean, he's kind of accomplished a lot.
I mean, that's fine. I don't get it. I just want to know how much you're rooting for chaos. I mean,
I want to see Mexico. Oh man, I don't even want to say it out loud. But
say it.
You can say it.
Come on.
I want to see Mexico
win 5-0 with 6 red cards.
I want to see Mexico lose because I want Tata Martino out. I've never been a fan of him. I've never been a fan of him since he took over. And I was a big Juan Carlos Osorio fan. Daryl Shore, our first head coach, was an assistant for Juan Carlos Osorio. And Daryl Shore taught me a lot of the things that that Juan Carlos Osorio taught him. And one of the most, I can't remember what I was talking to Daryl once, and he told me, I'm going to tell you what Juan Carlos Osorio told me when I was with him in Fire. It's like, opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one, and they're all stinky.
This is also true.
And, but yeah, I mean, there's going to be Twitter U.S. soccer drama. I mean, it's going to be there regardless if the U.S. wins or not. The U.S. can win the World Cup, and someone's going to complain about how, I don't know, Tyler Adams was playing right back, even if they won the World Cup.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. I don't get the Greg hate. Like, I think I was talking to you about it, Yogi, and you said to me, he was like he didn't. It wasn't his fault he got the job the way he did, and I was like, I mean, true, but also we're second in the group heading into the final games.
Yeah, but like the thing I told you about that, the reason why people are upset about Greg getting the job is because they fail to realize that's how he got their job. That went over a lot of people's heads. I know. You get that on the car ride home.
There's that third eye.
I never even got Tata out. Like,
I've been Tata out since the day he stepped in. I'm so serious. I need to find the receipts too, because I have some of my friends ask me what I thought about it. I'm like, this is going to be a terrible hire. It's going to be the same pattern that he's had with Barcelona and Argentina and before that, where he's going to start and everyone's going to rave about how it's this beautiful one-touch passing, triangle soccer, high pressing, possessing the ball and dominating. I was like, and it's in every single place that he's been, everyone has been able to adjust, learn, and adapt to how to beat him, and he never changes anything. And you see it now. He calls the exact same guys who are letting them down. He does not go to Liga MX games. He doesn't want to call some guys that are in form in Europe just because those are the guys that he studied when he first arrived and that got him on a high stock when he first arrived. So to him, he's getting paid bank. So he just doesn't care. He's not Mexican. He's never coached in Liga MX. The closest thing he's ever done to being in Liga MX is coaching Atlanta United. That's the closest I think he's ever had anything to do. I'm being serious.
I mean, no, I get it. Like, you're right. Like, that triangle only works so much until you have to play the triangle out of the back, and then you're literally going midfield, defender, back to your keeper, back to the defender.
Yeah, but you can't do that in CONCACAF.
No, CONCACAF is pure chaos.
The thing is that it's fine if you want to bring if that's his style, kind of like that Barcelona style, but it's like in CONCACAF, you have to penetrate, you have to go forward, you have to make it messy. That's the only way. I mean, that's why you see teams like Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, some really small nations like Haiti, like putting up a game because they're just making it difficult for you. Whether it comes from natural, like I mean, I don't want to play in 100 degrees in Guatemala with like 90% humidity, but I also don't want to play below zero, freezing, getting hypothermia in Minneapolis, Minnesota. But I mean, that's the thing. It's in CONCACAF, you have to make it messy, and you have to like kind of like capitalize on what you got. And for some teams, it's the conditions of where they play at.
I mean, I guess let's go into it. So like for Mexico, I remember watching the USA Mexico game in Cincinnati, and it was a lot of the same thing where you were holding possession, which was cool. Mm-hmm. That's something you've always done, but there was no connection between the lines. Normally a Mexico team will figure that out quick. Mm-hmm. It has not been there this entire cycle. Like Canada's figured it out, USA's figured it out. Yep. Like these teams that are getting results, 1-1 draws, 0-0 draws. It's like, how are you not taking that and like applying it to doing something else?
Yep.
And it's just not happening. I'm like, you haven't called in Chicharito. You're not calling in Vela because they play in MLS.
No. He's got beef.
He's got hella beef. I'm like, these are some of your best players. Like, they are in form.
Yeah.
Vela is putting balls on heads at like a dime, and you're not calling him in because of some beef from 4 years ago or whatever the fuck it is. I'm like, ridiculous. I want to see Vela versus McKinney any day of the week. I won't see it, obviously, for this game because he, A, doesn't call in Vela, and B, McKinney's hurt. But I want to see that because that is the type of form and the type of vibes we need for a game.
I was just in LA, too, so I got to see – I went to a LAFC and Galaxy game, and, I mean, Chicharito, he's looking good. He's looking good. Vela is always he's just classy on the ball. Yeah, I think he's one of the classiest players I think I've ever seen. It just kind of sucks that he sees soccer more as just his job rather than I want to be passionate. I mean, he's really good. I think he's capping, but I mean, that's a different conversation.
By the way, red card for Motown FC. They had a goal disallowed in extra time, and they are now down a man.
Ooh.
And it's the 114th minute.
Who does the winner of that game play?
That's a really good question. I don't know. It was the most interesting of all the games that were being played right now. I mean, hey.
No, I'm really excited to see my
defeaters kicks is getting pretty interesting. It's 3-2 at halftime.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
I'm really excited to see. So tomorrow I'm going to Des Moines to watch Des Moines versus Minneapolis City. Winner gets Omaha.
Yo, that's the game everyone has been talking about.
That game is going to be good.
Because I'm going.
Buzz. I'm very excited for that game. I'm really good friends with some of the members of the coaching staff at Minneapolis City. So I'm really excited. I want them to go to Omaha and pull the shocker in Omaha.
Don't say that. Pull the Florida Soccer Soldiers.
Yeah.
Do it. Benny, I never got to ask. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep asking questions. Benny, you talked about your Forward Madison, your favorite Forward Madison kit, but we all know that soccer now has gone beyond the game, and it is all about the drip. It is all about the style. It is about what you like. You gotta look your best, 100%. Yep. What is your favorite kit outside of Forward Madison that you own?
Oh, that I own?
That you own or that you want to get?
The only jersey that I have from another team is I did do a jersey exchange the first year with Pato Botello Fas, who was with Lansing Ignite the first season. So I have a Lansing Ignite jersey somewhere. It's right there. I was about to hang it up because I'm starting to, I just started putting my scarves up on my wall, and I got a Chicago Fire flag hung up in my room too. But oh man, I've always actually wanted a Richmond Kickers kit. I think their white red kit always looks fresh. I've always been a fan of like black kits, or like, so Union Omaha was also one that I was interested in getting. I was kind of upset nobody wanted to trade jerseys with me after the game when I was there, but that's whatever.
Well, I got some
they
news
get
for
charged
you.
too, so
It's the same jersey as last year.
Yeah,
so maybe you'll get lucky this year.
Yeah,
there's a little star though.
Oh yeah, the star. That's right. But or no star.
We're
no star. Do you have a star?
Yeah, we won last year. 3-0 Greenville.
Oh, shit.
So fun fact. We are the only team left in USL 1 that's ever won a USL 1 championship game.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. I guess.
I mean, technically, yeah, that makes sense.
That's the best type of right.
Technically, it's correct, and that's the best kind of correct.
What I remember from that game was that was when Devin Boyce hit that banger on that volley, right? That goal was insane. That goal was nuts. That goal was nuts. I was watching it. My dad.
It was so disappointing.
Man,
it was so disappointing because I was really like, "Oh, this game about to be tight."
Yeah, me too.
I was like, "Oh, this is trash."
Don't worry. I got some good notes written down for when the Greenville fans are inevitably in our comments on Thursday talking about the sand on the field or something. I got some stuff prepared for that one because they just didn't even show up that game.
Okay, that's my one criticism towards Union Omaha. I think they got to find a way to just play where Creighton University plays at their soccer stadium. That stadium is dope. Stadium is definitely a stadium that I want to go to. I'm not really a big fan of college sports. So the fact that I want to go to a soccer game that's not a University of Wisconsin Madison soccer game, they're doing something very specific. Well, they're doing I go here because it's like 10 minutes from where I live to get to where they play it, and their games are free. But Creighton University, like they get a crowd. I have a really good coaching friend who just became it was his first season as an assistant coach there at Creighton, and man, he was sending me videos and stuff like that of like the student crowds and stuff, and then when Omaha played their game there too, that was like, I'm like, they just got to play every game there. That was so dope. I'd be going to Omaha a lot more if they play there, because when I went to the baseball stadium, I had a really good time. And I remember
views of soybean fields.
Quite a few of Omaha fans bought me some adult beverages that on the record I did not drink during the game, or like when I was sitting with the crowd. But yeah, it was I mean, it was cool and fun, but it was fireworks night too, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, if it was at Creighton University at that stadium, I think Union Omaha would be getting a lot more a pull in terms of social, like media traction, just going a little bit more trending and kind of being talked about around the league, kind of like how Madison and the Flock kind of were that first season when we had a higher average attendance than most teams in the championship. So I think if Omaha played there,
y'all would not let that shit die. I will never forget that.
No, it was dope. That's something that everybody loves. Everybody loved it. That people went and people were loud at the games too. So it wasn't just like people watching and just eating a hot dog and then left at halftime. It was people just singing and on their feet for like 90 minutes or as close as they could.
Cleveland just took the lead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Question: do you know a player named Jesus Perez? He played for Forward.
Chino Perez. That's Chino. Yeah, he's playing for Chicago FC right now.
Okay, because it's weird. Like you see, like guys that used to play League One are now playing at this level, and they're like world beaters. Hilarious.
Well, the thing is that some of these teams, even though they're not like professionally sanctioned, some of these teams do pay some players just because they get big bank if they like the club does if they make it far into their whether it's MPSL, UPSL, or especially the Open Cup. I mean, they'll get a nice. That's what they're there. They get those type of guys that have pro experience to help get the club somewhere.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fun fact: so Creighton for the state high school soccer finals, they regularly get crowds of 7,000 plus for the state finals.
For a high school game.
Wow. Yeah, so there's South, which is a high school with a lot of Hispanic families and South Sudanese families, and then the other best program in the state is Creighton Prep, which I'm sure you can imagine the type of people like go to a school called Creighton Prep. They always meet in the finals.
The U versus Notre Dame situation is what I'm hearing.
But it's super cool because they formed this like really fun rivalry where they'll sit together mixed in the crowd. They always take a nice photo after the game. They tailgate together before and after the game, and it's
okay. So it's
really
not
cool
because
it's
Notre Dame. Okay,
no, it's super cool.
Catholic versus criminal, Kyle. Stop.
I didn't say which ones were the criminal. Damn.
One of them was Kyle.
We all know what you was alluding to.
But regardless, it's super cool, and I think for sure
the Catholic Prep wasn't the criminals.
Some of them probably are, yeah. But
I'm just
anyways,
saying, there's some. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Let me stop.
We can talk about it in the after show. But anyways, for sure, if we play down in Creighton, I think you'd see a lot of traction because as you saw when you went out to the game, it's not really close to anything. And so I think hopefully there's been going to save some for the preseason show, which is Thursday at 7 Central, by the way. But we'll talk about that in a bit. But there has been some rumors about a potential new Omaha stadium, which would be located in and around the Creighton field or maybe a little further south. So there's some traction there, but I'll save some of that for Thursday.
Looks like I'll be tuning in on Thursday.
You should. It's the preseason.
There you go.
We're going to break down every team on Thursday. Ebony's going to have some hot takes. Cal might not be on time. Chick is going to let you know about the stadium. And Brandon might make his first ever appearance on this show.
That's a surprise.
I will probably not make it on time. Let's be realistic.
That's what I said, Cal. I know you.
Me and my hot takes? Me? I'm good.
Ebony, have you done your profile on Chattanooga yet?
I have to do Chattanooga too?
Bye.
That's it. That's the end.
Goodbye. I'm not dealing with her. Her name is clearly on blue on that list. She's going to pass her whole team. Y'all have a good night.